So this year is WrestleMania 38, everyone, and we get to I'll just say day one, night one, whatever you want. How are things shaping up so far, Mr. Decker-san?
So we'll go through each night's card, and I'll give you some tidbits here and there if I can. So we talked about it last episode to the point that we started singing Bohemian Rhapsody. We've got the Usos defending the SmackDown Tag Championships against Nakamura and Boogs. This is a coin flip, and it's like on one side it makes sense for Usos to keep the belt because it keeps the bloodline strong, and to be honest, it makes a bit of sense. But then on the other side, people just love rocking out to Nakamura and Boogs when they come out, especially Pat McAfee, who jives on the table so much on the past SmackDown. Michael Cole was you have to see the video footage. It was basically McAfee still doing his dancing and rocking out, and Michael Cole's still going, trying not to corpse, was saying, Pat, stop it, please, Pat, you're getting too close, Pat. Pat's like, no, playing guitar.
Getting too close to what? The edge of the table to fall off.
Yeah. So there's that crowd interaction. Also, some people, I was watching the Wrestle Talk predictions before going live, and again, Boogs has been strangely very much protected. He has a victory over both Usos, so it's like, okay, maybe, but I kind of feel if anyone's eating the pin for that team, it's going to be Nakamura.
So I need to ask, because I've not watched WWE in a while, admittedly, and particularly SmackDown just because of the reasons, but is Boogs still doing his weird Freddie Mercury thing, or is he back on guitar now?
He's still doing the guitar, and he's still the hench Freddie Mercury.
So the reason I mention this is they're doing this in a giant-ass stadium, WrestleMania this year. That entrance ramp is really, really long.
Also, Rick Boogs has been doing a little bit of the Freddie Mercury sort of stuff every time he starts at the guitar, because he does the "Ayo" and gets the crowd going. So imagine a full AT&T Stadium doing that as well. I think it'll be quite fun. I think it'll be quite nice. It'll be a nice moment for the entrance, but I personally think Usos are winning. I think Emi
Sakura in AEW must be really annoyed because she was doing the whole Freddie Mercury thing herself.
Oh. Anyway, moving on. We've got Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin. Yeah, I tried a Scottish accent and it went wrong. So this is a feud that started all the way back from day one. Joy, to which...
Oh, you mean the pay-per-view? Sorry, I was like, day one? What?
Day one. We covered the show, Jeremy.
No, just the way you said it confused me. Sorry.
Yeah, all the way back at WWE Day One, the premium live event, and yeah, so basically, so McIntyre's gone through Madcap Moss a couple of times, almost dropped him on his head at Elimination Chamber, all that sort of stuff, and now finally has a one-on-one match with Corbin. Fun fact: apparently, Corbin has been pinned or submitted since his character change, which is
really
apparently. That's what WWE is saying. Also, additional fact, I think I mentioned it before, no one's kicked out of End of Days or Happy Days. So
is that genuinely what it's called now?
Yeah, Happy Days.
Does he start singing the theme song when he does it?
No, he doesn't do the hey sort of thing. In all likelihood,
someone can make a really good AMV to that, by the way. Like Happy Days just doing that.
In all likeliness, I think Drew McIntyre is going to completely demolish Happy Corbin. It will probably be a short match, and this feud will end once and for all. Thank God.
This needs to basically just be a running claymore, and it's done.
It'll do like 3 claymores. Get the crowd counting down, so they'll do 3 claymores. He'll pin, and then McIntyre will swing the sword around, and flame will fire out, and fireworks will go off, and then Drew McIntyre can move on back over to the main event scene, pretty much. So yeah, that's that match. Nothing to really write home about, but it'll be probably all right, and everyone will get to see Happy Corbin get claymored. Which is
everyone will be happy with what happens to Corbin.
Yes,
hopefully.
So we have another tag match. We've got the New Day making up of Kingston and Woods against
Best wishes to Big E.
Yep, and Sheamus and Ridge Holland with Butch, aka Pete
Butch.
Dunne. So yeah, this is still a continuation of the story they've been going. They've obviously now incorporated the Big E injury into it, which is not particularly great. But then it's a reason.
It's WWE. That's all I'm going to say.
It's a reason for the teams to be feuding. They injure one of their beloved friends. Obviously, they want payback and stuff like that. But
it's
in the
WWE. They've done it for years.
Yeah, in the last couple of weeks, Holland's beaten Kingston a couple of times. Woods has beaten Holland and so forth. In all honesty, I think this is just going to be a throwaway match with a feel-good moment for the New Day, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, there's nothing really riding on it. Obviously, if you're trying to build this faction of Sheamus, Holland, and Butch, saying Butch is wrong. I'm just going to say Dunn. Building this faction of Sheamus, Holland, and Dunn.
I'm sorry, who?
Butch. Stop it. It does kind of make sense to a degree for the new faction to win. I mean, the New Day don't necessarily lose anything with a loss, to be honest. But considering everything that's happened so far in this storyline, it might just be a nice feel-good moment for the New Day to win. And then the faction can probably steamroll them at the next Premium Live event, and off we go.
I'm looking forward to seeing what Big E's social media game is going to be during this match.
It'd be nice if he sort of made an appearance of some description, even if it's like doing the if he can do with the broken neck, of course, so forth. But yeah, we'll see. Again, it will be a match. It will be a decent match, but not much really to this. Then we got first of, I think, 3 celebrity matches at this year's card. So we've got the Mysterios versus the Miz and Logan Paul. I mean, bless Logan. He is trying to. He's giving it a go, which is when celebrities give it a go and actually show they want to do stuff in WWE and the wrestling side of things. That's fun. Obviously, we saw it last year with Bad Bunny, where everyone just going, "Oh, he's just a random rapper. He's not going to do." Oh my word, he's done a Canadian Destroyer.
But it's the thing, though. Bad Bunny, one, doesn't have a punchable face, which is also inherently useful.
This is true.
But Bad Bunny, properly trained for this. But Logan Paul, let's call it like it is, has a punchable face. It just does. And I just don't want to see him. And even worse, with Miz.
What does that mean?
Forget, I don't mean this. And wait, let me try to think how I'm going to phrase this. The Mysterios, it's going to be really cool to see them come out to the ring as a father-son duo at WrestleMania in a massive stadium like that. It's going to be a wonderful moment. But the idea of Miz and Logan Paul as a tag team, there's the old phrase of turn the channel heat. If I was ever, I'll be watching this on a delay anyway, so I've got no excuse to skip it really, so I can't hit walk out during the live broadcast.
We're reviewing it next episode, so you're going to have to watch it, Jeremy.
No, I know, but what I'm trying to imply is not because of the Mysterios, but because of Miz and Logan Paul, if I were ever to nominate a match to be a piss break match, it would probably be this purely because of Miz and Logan Paul. That said, I would like them to prove me wrong. And if they actually have a really great match and Logan Paul does a flipping good job, hold me to this, people, if you really want to. I will happily come on this podcast next week and say, well done, Logan. I was wrong. You still have a punchable face.
Fair enough. I mean, the current storyline at the moment is most of the times when the Mysterios and Miz and Paul have got into altercations, Logan Paul is kept avoiding the 619. So there's a sense of he's going to take a 619 at some point in this match, probably. But again, it's like, to the Mysterio, again, this is the thing with some of these matches. It's like the logic sense tells you the wrestling team that doesn't have a celebrity should fairly win because it makes sense from a story. It makes sense from a crowd-pleasing moment side of things, especially the Mysterios, because obviously baby faces.
Whereas who wants Logan Paul to win? More to the point,
I did not realize this. It's been until it's been mentioned on various podcasts. But apparently, celebrities don't lose their WrestleMania matches. I can't think of a celebrity losing their WrestleMania match.
Jamie, what are the celebrity matches that we had? Just as a point of comparison, I'm drawing blank.
Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. Bad Bunny.
Okay,
yeah. Stephen Amell and Neville at SummerSlam. Stephen Amell won.
I thought you meant celebrity WrestleMania matches specifically.
Snooki. Snooki won.
Oh God, that was a thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, Bam Bam Bigelow versus, I forget his name.
Oh, Lawrence Taylor, the footballer. Yeah.
Taylor won.
Mm-hmm.
BA and Hulk Hogan, they won.
Oh, Mr. T, you mean, right? Sorry, I was like,
Mr. T. No, yeah, sorry. Sorry, my bad. Sorry, Mr. T. I apologize. But
it's BA Baracus, you're right. But
yeah, everyone knew what I meant at the time. Yeah.
Okay, fair. You're not wrong, but Logan Paul should lose. I mean, technically, you could also count in-ring segments because Pete Rose got tombstoned numerous times by Kane,
and it wasn't a match, Jeremy.
Logan Paul got stunned. Logan Paul got stunned by Kevin Owens.
Yeah. Also, there's these reports of Logan Paul probably doing a bit more WWE, not straight away, but in the future side of things.
But like I say, if he does a really good job, I will happily change my tune. But at the moment, I don't want to see him.
Fair enough. I would like to see Mysterio's win. I will not be surprised if Miz and Logan Paul win.
Do you reckon it'll be because Dominic will cost him and Ray, and this might lead to some dissension between him and Ray?
I think we've been waiting for the split for a while now, to be honest. I don't know if that's going to be a thing or if that's actually going to happen. Who knows? Anyway, let's move on. So we've got the first of the big women's championships. We've got Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship. I think this obviously this should be a full circle moment. Belair should be getting this belt back, to be perfectly honest. The feud's been quite good the last couple of weeks. On Monday, Becky Lynch tried to cut off Bianca's ponytail with scissors in the ring.
Oh,
kind of backfired because Belair took some chunks of hair off Becky with the scissors.
Is this going to lead to a hair versus hair match then down the line?
Possibly. Basically, I can imagine Belair winning the belt and then Becky saying, "No, I want a rematch, but this time it's hair versus hair or something like that." But Belair will still probably win, to be honest.
I wonder if they're going to do any callbacks to the SummerSlam random match. Because remember, I think it was they shook hands at the start, and that's when Becky then quickly took her in and hit the manhandle slam, is it?
Yeah. It's the man slam.
That's it. Or let's call it the side effect.
No, it's a rock bottom. It's a rock bottom, isn't it?
I'm getting my moves mixed up. Sorry, it's been a long week, people. No, but yeah, I wonder if we might get a callback to that and like a little tease of a quick finish.
Possibly, but this will probably be a good 15, 18-minute match.
I'm looking forward to it, though. This is going to be really good fun.
This should be fun. When they had their first match at Extreme Rules, it was good. They had a really good triple threat with Sasha Banks at Crown Jewel. The ring chemistry is really strong. I think this will be a highlight. I think this could probably open the show, to be honest. If you want a nice hot start, open it with this, because I think a lot of people are sensing a Belair victory here and a regaining of the championship. So yeah, it'll be a nice sort of full circle moment there. Shall we move over to the story of Seth Rollins?
I mean, look, if we get to talk about the amazing video that appeared on Twitter of him at WWE HQ waiting to beat Vince McMahon, then yes, let's talk about it.
Well, that's all part of it. Obviously, the last couple of weeks on Raw, Seth Rollins has been trying to get his way to WrestleMania. He tried to take Kevin Owens' interview slot with Stone Cold off him. He lost. Tried to take AJ's match from Edge, lost, got very irate and decided to destroy a lot of the ringside last time. And then he got summoned to Vince McMahon's office. And basically, in his drip game, complete with absolute ludicrous suit, kind of going,
tremendous.
I'm here in all that sort of stuff. And then it gets to like 3 hours early before the meeting, then 3 hours, and then he's like, okay, you can go in now. And Vince is just gone, it's like it's not WrestleMania without Seth. If you wanted to match Seth,
no. You got to say it correctly. It's not a WrestleMania without Seth freaking Rollins.
I stand corrected. And basically, it's like if you just wanted to match Seth, all you had to do was ask.
There was a wonderful moment when he said that. Just that look of what?
Really? All right. So,
but the wrinkle in the plan, though,
we'll get to that in a second. But basically, the bottom line is Seth Rollins has a match at WrestleMania on Saturday. You don't know who the opponent is. The opponent will be revealed when Seth is in the ring.
An opponent of Vince McMahon's choosing.
For probably a good couple of weeks. And a lot of the sense has always been it's someone who may have just left another wrestling company. Cody!
That cough again, mate.
That cough again.
I mean, you could say like it's going to be a long road to someone for WrestleMania, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's all smoke and mirrors, isn't it?
You might say that they'll go by Cody, Wyoming. There you go. That's a stretch.
So reports were like a week and a half ago, were basically Cody Rhodes apparently has signed a WWE contract. It's been, I think that was PW Insider who said that. So a deal apparently has been done, but then everyone's immediately thinking, does that mean then it's Seth versus Cody? To which most people have now been tuning to Raw and getting angry that Cody hasn't turned up. And it's like,
so funny.
But it was like Cody, it's like it was gonna be Cody. It's like WWE haven't really advertised Cody at all. So why would you expect him to be there?
This is the perfect example of any fandom putting 2 and 2 together and getting 52 billion. It's them just saying, oh, this is clearly going to happen. I'm tuning in to see it happen.
Yeah.
And it doesn't because they just assumed or they read it somewhere it might happen.
Yeah.
It's just, but in a weird way though, this is what makes it so much fun. Because it's just that thing of, look, if it happens on Raw, it happens on Raw. If it does or doesn't happen on Mania, it does or doesn't. But the best thing is, no matter what the reaction is going to be to whoever it ultimately is, it's going to be wonderful just to see the internet implode.
Yeah, pretty much. So I think a lot of people were sensing, a lot of people were probably sensing it was going to be Cody, or it could very well be Cody making his return. Then today, or maybe yesterday, it's reported that Shane McMahon is coming in for WrestleMania weekend.
What?
It doesn't say in any capacity what he's doing. And the original reports obviously post-Rumble, and we talked about post-Rumble of it all going to shit backstage with Shane in a way. There was the tentative plan of maybe Shane McMahon versus Seth at Mania, which was supposed to start at Rumble and carry on through to Mania. So with that announcement, there's the slight worry of Shane McMahon's coming out, and I think the internet will still implode if that's the case. And I think the building is going to burn down, not because they love Seth Rollins, but because they are going to be pissed off.
Oh, this has potential to be absolutely magical, Ian.
It's
I can't wait to see the numerous live reaction videos that people will be recording and posting them on Twitter of people going absolutely ape shit at whoever it is.
You know who it's going to be? It's going to be Veer Mahan.
Do you know what?
Despite the fact they finally announced that Veer is actually going to arrive on Raw the night after Mania Night 2.
Will he know? I wonder what the odds are, genuinely. Like, what are the odds on, like, Paddy Power or something, you know?
But yeah, I think because I would rather have a happy environment. I'd rather it be Cody Rhodes, to be honest. I think it'll be fun. They'll have a decent match, but it is going to happen. I worry if it's anyone else. I genuinely do, for the sake of that building, for the rest of the night, for the rest of the card, and for the other matches. If it's Shane, or if it's anyone that the audience really doesn't feel is worth it, it's gonna get booed. Walter, it could be fun. Who knows? Bring out Walter.
Oh my
Bring
God.
out Braun Breaker or something like that. Again, the Braun Breaker thing might work because of the Steiner things, but again, I can imagine the crowd shitting on it. And usually when a crowd shits on a match, like it's not nice to see, but unfortunately, it's frustrating because it's like we've just said, it's like WWE have at no point. Yeah, they've put Cody Rhodes teasers in shows with people saying words relating to him and stuff like that. But at no point have they turned around and said, oh yeah, Cody's coming to WrestleMania. and people are going to get pissed off at WWE for not bringing Cody when they haven't said they're bringing Cody.
Genuine question. I've just been thinking about this. For anyone watching the video version, wondering why I'm scratching my chin looking to the sky. I can think of one instance off the top of my head where there has been a mystery opponent at a WrestleMania. And that was at WrestleMania 11 when the Smoking Guns defended the tag titles against Owen Hart and a mystery partner who turned out to be Yokozuna.
Okay.
Which was a really cool surprise because you're like, oh crap, how the hell are they going to defeat this tag team?
Yeah.
But there's an element where a mystery opponent, I mean, you compare what WrestleMania 11 was to what the heck WrestleMania is now by stature. It needs to be someone, it needs to be a reaction. It basically needs to be an oh shit reaction. It's all it can be, but it needs to be a good one.
Yeah.
If it ends up being Shane McMahon, that's not a reaction you want, I don't think.
No. And depending where this is placed on the card, if this is like before the main event or before a pivotal match, which really does deserve attention and respect from the audience, it's going to have a bad knock-on effect. And it's like, again, it's like, I don't like seeing it happen. It's like people might go, oh yeah, well, they deserve it. It's like, well, again, it's like there's certain circumstances where, again, like I said, I've not seen anything from WWE saying, oh, this is the plan. This is what it's always going to be. I mean, even when the crowds have chanted Cody at Raw and Seth's just gone, oh, I don't listen to rumors and that sort of thing. So it's just like, they've acknowledged that people are saying Cody, but WWE have not kind of gone, he might very well turn up the night after Raw,
which traditionally is when new people debut.
Yeah, or even bigger surprises happen and stuff like that, or returns and stuff like that. So, yeah. So I think for a nice WrestleMania moment, it would be good if it's Cody. If it's someone else, it can't be Shane McMahon. Otherwise, I generally fear for the rest of the show from that night, to be honest.
What if they did a double play?
I mean, they could do a double blow for McMahon comes out and then
introduces Cody,
and then he introduces Cody, or Vince comes out and says, "No, you get out," or maybe Seth beats McMahon quickly and then says, "No, I want an actual opponent." That could happen. That could
imagine we just said, "You gave me Shane. I'm Seth freaking Rollins."
I mean, that might actually work, because it could work like that. Because if he comes out and Seth's incensed that he's battling Shane McMahon, he'll just he'll grab a microphone and go, "No, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this against him. He's not worthy of my talent. He's not worthy of my match." And then someone else goes, "All right, I'll do it instead," which could be Cody. Again, no ways it can work.
Insert Cody's owned ring music now of Kingdom.
Yeah. It will be surreal if they do use Kingdom. It will be surreal to hear.
It's like I was talking about with the Hardys, wasn't it? Looking at the other way around, it's going to be really surreal if he does actually end up keeping that.
Yeah. Anyway,
so in theory, what's main eventing night one then? In theory,
in a ring perspective, the main event will probably be, and probably should be, Charlotte versus Ronda on night one. So again, both the women's championship matches. We'll talk about the other segment in a moment. But in terms of Flair versus Rousey, this is absolutely Rousey taking the belt off Charlotte, and she'll probably hold the belt for another year, and then Becky will take the belt. So, I mean, the result's not in question. I think they'll have a good match. They had a good match at Survivor Series when Flair replaced Lynch for the champ versus champ match back in 20.
Was that the one where there was a cane involved and someone got caned the heck out of in a DQ finish?
Yeah, 2018, and that's when
that was really good. That match, I remember.
That's when, it was a good match, but then that was the match where Ronda didn't like people booing her. Yeah. It's like, now they're booing me. Why? But it's part of the show. They're booing the character, not
it's the story.
Yeah, in that sort of sense. And then obviously she became a bit of a heel after that. So I think considering obviously they've continued their wrestling careers quite nicely, I think this will be a fun match. I think this will be good. I think it will be physical, all that sort of stuff. I think if it's a main event, it's a worthy main event, to be perfectly honest. So yeah. So I think, I don't think we're in doubt here. I think this is Ronda. To be honest. So The only other segment on the show is the KO show of Stone Cold Steve Austin. And this is the sort of thing we're a little bit unsure about. I think a lot of people are still unsure about. Is like, is this just going to be Owens calling out Austin? Austin turns up. They have a little bit of a chat, and then they just have a bit of an extended brawl where in which Austin delivers stunners, drinks beer, pours beer over Owens, and so forth. Or will this develop into an actual match on the night? Because it's like, because the reports, Wrestling Observer have been saying that Austin's been training, he's in good shape, and all that sort of stuff. So maybe if they've fought through this match and they fought for an idea of a match and they've kind of worked out that it could happen. It could happen at the start of again, another thing to open the show. Austin pops up. Austin has a chat with KO. Things get heated, a little brawl, and it's like, okay, I've got my gear. I'll come out at the end of the night, and we'll settle this. Again, it'll be I can't imagine it being a massive long match if it ever happened to be a match. I imagine it'd be like a 5-10 minute kind of like extended squash match with Kevin Owens getting his comeuppance after all the shenanigans he's pulled, including I personally loved the trolling he did last week dressed as Stone Cold. It's wonderful. It really is. Comes out in his little bald cap. Crowd proper pissed off.
So, a hypothetical thought here. Not that I think this is perhaps the best idea, but it's certainly one I could see them doing. What if they have the KO show segment and it's ultimately like a challenge for a match, as it were? What if they say, let's do it tomorrow night?
I mean, looking at the card, night 2. Oh no, let me just symbol up my card. I mean, there's 6. There's 7 matches on night 2. So, and
I mean, from a crowd perspective, if you're only going to night 1, you got shortchanged potentially.
Yeah, this is true, but you'll still probably have a brawl thing.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. But there's half of me that's thinking, if you're going to bring Stone Cold out, would you want to try and make it go over 2 nights? Yeah, if that makes sense.
I think from a pacing perspective, if people are there to see Stone Cold, and then Stone Cold comes at the start, and that's about it, and people kind of tune out. That's the thing. I think you look at it again with Mania. Mania attracts the casual fans, doesn't it? The people who are not there. I mean, I remember when I wasn't watching wrestling when WrestleMania 30, but when someone said, "Oh, shit, the Undertaker's streak's over," it's like, "Oh, really?" In that sort of way. So if you have this sense of Stone Cold's actually gonna have a proper fight or a match at some point during the show, people will probably stay with the show, even if they have to sit through non-sequential matches like, say, McIntyre, Corbin, that sort of stuff. So yeah, there's that element. There's that element to it. But it's also
I also need to say as well, because are they still going on? I've not seen all the clips, but are they still going on the storyline of like defending the honor of Texas?
It started out as Rollins muddying Texas, but then it's pretty much Owens being angry at Stone Cold.
Good.
And I kind of goading Stone Cold.
Hopefully for obvious reasons, I've asked that question. That's kind of obvious given, current life circumstances in Texas. But I'm glad they veered away from stuff like that. But
yeah, a lot of the promos now is basically about Owens saying I'm better than you when I was your age, Austin, all that sort of stuff. So it's kind of. Yeah, it's kind of like, oh, you can't. It's like you walked away after 19 years, Austin. You can't do this anymore, Austin. That sort of stuff. So it's like you get a sense if there's going to be a brawl, Austin's probably going to just kick the shit out of him around the ringside, stunner him maybe once, maybe twice. We'll get some fun stunner reactions from Owens, and then he'll just be drowned in beer. End of night 1 or part of night 1. Who knows?
So how is night 2 going to shape up then as things stand?
Night 2. So other little bits and pieces going on. So let's talk about a new match that's been added to the card. Bobby Lashley versus Omos. Bobby Lashley has come. Yeah, so Lashley was off TV for about a month and a bit because of a shoulder injury.
So that's why he lost the title, correct?
Yeah, that's why he lost the title at Elimination Chamber. Omos has been on a bit of a sort of singles push, or basically just defeating people or the mid-card, lower card talent in like handicap matches, stuff like that. And he come up and said, "Oh, there's no one who could knock me off my feet." And then Bobby Lashley turned up on Raw this past Monday and went, "All right," and knocked him off his feet. So they've got a match.
Simple storytelling, everyone.
Simple storytelling.
I don't ask for much.
But the thing is, does Lashley win over Omos, or and kind of stop the push a little bit, or does Omos beat Lashley in a weird result, which is to cement the push? I don't know. It's gonna be fascinating. I think, because again, I was watching the Wrestle Talk productions just coming on here. There's a sense that if any match is going to end in a stupid count out or does not actually happen, it might be this one, because they've booked themselves as a bit of a corner here.
I can't believe I'm about to say this. You could say, depending on the outcome, he almost got the win.
Get out right now. I know. You know what? I'm taking up this show right now. No more Jeremy. I've got rid of Jeremy now. I am now running BunkaMania because of the bad joke. Actually, I need someone to talk to, so come back. Come back, Jeremy.
Oh, so you need me now, do you?
Yeah, right. So, Lashley versus Omos. I don't know. I'm not really this invested.
I'm going to say Lashley.
Let the internet implode. Omos. So we got a tag team fatal 4-way for the women's tag match. We got Carmella and Zelina Vega defending as champions against Sasha Banks and Naomi, Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, and Natalya and Shayna Baszler.
Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley sounds like a badass tag team.
They pretty mean working as a really good badass team.
I've not seen WWE recently,
they seem more. It seems more natural as a team than, say, almost superhero Nikki and Rhea last year. This seems to work because of the characters and kind of like the sort of punk rock aesthetic.
Both of their sort of visuals, if you will, like the way they sort of present themselves and such.
Yeah, absolutely. So there are probably going to be two likely winners out of this. It's either going to be Sasha Banks and Naomi. Another random fact: Sasha Banks has never won at WrestleMania.
Never won at WrestleMania. Huh. All right, sure.
Yeah, she lost to Belair last year.
I wonder what Sasha Banks will come out dressed as this year, because she's done Sailor Moon at the Royal Rumble.
Trying to think what else. The previous WrestleMania. What was it? That was the indoor one, I think. Yeah, she had like
teaming with Bayley.
No, she wasn't teaming with Bayley. She had I think she was part of a fatal 5-way for the SmackDown Championship.
I will find out, because I am scrolling through matches now.
It's not tag teams because it was
fatal 5-way for the SmackDown.
And then year before that, Bayley and Banks lost the women's tag team. And was she about the year before then? That would be 34 WrestleMania. I don't think she was on the card, or she was in the women's battle royale and lost.
I don't see her listed on the card for WrestleMania 35.
Yeah, 33. She was. I think she went in as a potential candidate, challenger for SmackDown, and then lost to Naomi. Naomi won the belt at 33 for the SmackDown Women's Championship. 32 was triple threat of Banks, Lynch, and Flair won.
Yes.
Jeremy's. Yeah.
Sorry for the dead air. That was me trying to quickly scroll through because you were going at lightning speed.
Jeremy's fact checking for me. But no, I mean, from like a results perspective, and also to kind of pay dividends to like the Naomi Sonya Deville storyline, it would be nice to see Banks and Naomi win the belts. But I wouldn't be opposed to Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan win the belts, because out of all of them, Morgan hasn't won a belt yet. So
that is still a thing, isn't it?
Yeah. So you got two things here. They could either put a belt on Morgan for the first time, or they can give Banks and Naomi some rewards for some of the storylines they've been doing for the last couple of months. So yeah, I think it'll be an all right match. And I think the winner's coming from one of those two. Vega and Carmella are not keeping the belt, to be perfectly honest. And Natalya and Baszler have just been added just to kind of add numbers to the match. But we have next we have the proverbial dream match, and a match which should generally steal the show if it's done well. Edge versus AJ Styles.
Looking forward to this. This is gonna be fun.
So boss mode Edge in his dark purple
Boss mode
suit.
Edge.
With his dark purple suit, his brand new Alter Bridge song, and all that sort of stuff. I think this is the start of a feud. I don't think it's a one and done thing. So in this sense, I could see Styles win, just to kind of reawaken his sort of pit bull mentality a bit, because obviously for the last year he's been with Omos, and he's kind of drifting around a little bit. So Edge is bringing him back to relevancy in it, I suppose. So yeah, I think AJ will win, and I think this will go on to probably Money in the Bank. So. Then we have a Raw Tag Team Championship triple threat. RK Bro champions defending against Street Profits and Alpha Academy.
This should be good fun as well.
This match will be good fun. All teams involved. This is going to be good fun. Possibly.
Just imagine Chad Gable just giving a speech on his way to the ring.
True. But it's kind of like, but the question is, Jeremy, where is the RKO coming out of nowhere from? Is it going to be a random moment, or is it going to be on the back of someone doing a flying move like Montez Ford doing a very ridiculous frog splash?
Maybe it'll be on Otis.
It could be on it. I think Otis has been RKO'd a couple of times now. I don't know.
He can do something insane.
I think this will be this could probably be one of the match steers for night 2, and I think this will be. I don't mind who wins this. I think this is, as long as it's a fun match, I think we're going to have a lot of fun with this. Moving on again, it's like I think the next match is going to be fun. I think Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory is going to be a lot of fun as well.
This is at the very least going to be very intriguing.
It's very intriguing. I think we're going to have a McAfee performance akin to his battles with Adam Cole and NXT. It wouldn't hurt Pat if Austin Theory won, because he's the protege of Vince. Maybe that's where Shane. Maybe that's where Shane gets involved.
I literally was going to say, I've just thought of an appalling storyline where Shane McMahon runs in and costs Austin Theory the match, saying, "This was meant to be my match."
Oh dear, could happen. I mean, if Shane's going to be a thorn in Vince's side, that would probably be it.
And then, because you could bet Vince McMahon would try and do this, Vince McMahon then comes down the aisle and he slaps Shane in the face. Because, you know, that's a big topic of conversation this week in the world in general. And that's like their way of trying to do a very awkward moment like that.
Possibly. Who knows? But I imagine Theory would probably win this. I would love to see McAfee win this and then have McAfee for the next year going. It's like, I'm undefeated at Mania. One match, one victory.
Didn't Michael Cole do that for years as well when he beat Lawler?
Yeah. But who knows? It's like if McAfee shines in this match, I can imagine Vince going, "I want more matches with this man. Get him in the ring." That sort of way. And then we have the last celebrity match. It's Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville. Anything goes.
Oh my god.
I think this will, again, I think from a spectacle standpoint, I think this will just be batshit insane. Hopefully, I want it to be batshit insane. Hopefully the Jackass team are going to be with Johnny, and they come out of various bits. And it's like, if any celebrity's going to lose their match this weekend, I think from I've gotten rid of Johnny Knoxville once and for all purpose, I think Sami Zayn should technically win, because it's like Zayn's been on the losing end cut for a while, especially the whole sort of Johnny Knoxville storyline thing. And the Johnny Knoxville storyline thing has been quite fun to watch. Just the fun bickering back and forth, the sharing of public phone numbers, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, Knoxville shared Sami Zayn's phone number on a random video, and people called, and he was legitimately answering the phone and talking with people like after shows and stuff like that. It's quite fun. It probably isn't Sami Zayn's real phone. I think it's a burner phone which they've just kind of used to kind of sweeten like the experience. But it's like I've liked like the silliness of this all, and the fact is I think you get the impression both Zayn and Knoxville are having the time of their lives with this at the moment. They're just going, yeah,
it's dumb fun.
It's dumb fun. It's like we're telling a crazy story for wrestling and we're getting paid to it. It's amazing, all that sort of stuff. So I can see Knoxville winning for the crowd pop and reaction with all the Jackass coming out to do crazy, silly stunts at the same time. I would like Zayn to win just to kind of put it to bed and kind of send Knoxville packing once and for all. But I think this will be fun. It's like
I'm trying to think how many members of the Jackass crew will come out.
It'll be interesting to see. Maybe there you go. Side bet for anyone who wants to try and put money on this is like, how many Jackass members will appear? And
now on your Jackass bingo card, scratch that person off.
Oh well, there's Dave England. Oh, wee man.
Haluva kick in his face.
There's Preston. All that sort of stuff. There's Jeff Tremaine. Take that as well. Anyway, so last but not least, it's the main event, of course. How can it not be? It is Brock versus Roman, winner take all. It's the biggest WrestleMania match of all time, Jeremy. It's the biggest WrestleMania match of all time. The world will move. The world will move. Things will happen.
Technically, it is, because it's unifying the titles into one.
Yes.
It is technically, well, it's like, like the women's match where they unify the two belts. Technically, it's one of the biggest WrestleMania matches ever. But it's not, because we've seen it many times. That said, we didn't have cowboy brockery.
No, we did not. And that was the point I was going to make, because we've had this before at WrestleMania, but it's when people have not been fully invested in characters. I think WrestleMania 31's match was a surprise because people were not really expecting to like the match, but it turned out to be a good match with an iconic finish with Seth Rollins cashing in. WrestleMania 34 was, to me, a clusterfuck. I did not like that match at all, especially with the spamming of finishes and Roman kicking out of like 3 F5s or something like that. It's like,
it was a match in a 2K game.
Yes, it's the sort of thing I would do on my own personal streams, Jeremy. And then I would come in and I would use my clothesline from hell, which I have dubbed Desolation, to knock someone's head off. And then I take the belt and I run away with it. And I wouldn't defend it for another year. Anyway, that's besides the point.
But you would avoid the WWE 30-day defending title policy, which they occasionally break for storyline purposes.
Well, maybe it's part of my contract. Who knows? I've learned contract ideas, Jeremy.
Remember when Brock Lesnar was champion? He just wasn't around for months.
Yeah,
that was a time.
Yeah,
but now he's a cowboy. He's around all the time.
He's around all the time, and it's been an absolute bloody delight. I'll tell you this now. I think because now the dynamics have changed, we've got characters who audiences are clearly more invested in. They're interested in Cowboy Brock. They're interested in Tribal Chief Roman. I think the ingredients here for Reigns to generally have is, well, he had a good match. He had an excellent match last year against Edge, and
it was triple threat, wasn't it?
Yeah, against D-Bry. Yeah, before Bryan Danielson, all that sort of stuff. But I think this will be the first time the dream of Lesnar Reigns colliding on the biggest stage will actually work. And I think this will be a really good match. It's like, I really don't want to get myself excited for this. It's like, but I kind of just want to see this epic power move struggle of just the occasional F5, the occasional spear, the almost guillotine choke.
The thing is, though, it's at the very least, this main event is intriguing. Even if people aren't excited about it, there's an element of intrigue of what are they going to do? And at the very least, you got to commend WWE for that. Even if it's not maybe been the best built thing, people maybe don't necessarily care about it. There is at the very least a level of intrigue where people are thinking, I want to see what happens, though.
Yeah,
and sometimes that's all you need to get people interested.
You want to see who's going to take 2 belts from them. I think it's Roman. It makes sense. I think if we're building Reigns up as this unstoppable God mode wrestler, it makes sense. It really does.
There is part of me that wonders, though, who ultimately will dethrone him if he does do this.
That's the $1 million question.
Yeah, which
that's the most stupendous question of all time, Jeremy. Who beats Roman Reigns?
Yeah, which is also partly why I think it wouldn't surprise me if they let Brock do it. Yeah. There's part of me that just thinks it, and then Reigns almost just creates his own belt.
Yeah, I think, because here's the thing, I think there's the idea that after the unification, the brand that's lost its belt is still going to have a title. but it might.
Would it not just be the person who won? Like the undisputed champion just chooses what show they go on.
Well, there was a photo from like some of the setup previously for WrestleMania this year, and basically the supposed design of the unified belt is the black WWE Championship belt, but the red stripe under WWE mark is now blue, and it's being referred to as the World Heavyweight Championship again.
Oh my word! Really? Okay.
So
that was when Orton won a ladder match against Cena, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When they had the belts like on a really awkward thing.
Yeah, and he held both belts.
Bring back the old school undisputed title belt. It's great.
I think it'll be referred. I think it depends. We'll probably have an idea by Sunday. What it
hopefully. Yeah, hopefully, because if we don't, it's a problem.
Because during like the last week's SmackDown, Roman said, "You will acknowledge me as the undisputed WWE Universal Champion." So it's like, okay.
So wait, the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. Because so we've got the Universal title, just the WWE title. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because there was part of me that's thinking, wait, the undisputed WWE World Heavyweight. I was trying to think how many more words could they add on. There is part of me that does think that Roman could just create his own belt and he would just go with it.
He could, but I kind of think with the hint of design, I think Roman's probably going to win it. He's going to keep the belt. He's going to stay.
I will say I'm being devil's advocate for the sake of discussion.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. But I'm intrigued to see what if Raw lose the WWE title, then it gets merged into this new belt thing that Roman's probably going to have. What on earth they do for title? They can't just go, well, we've lost the WWE title, might as well make another one.
I mean, it literally happened with Triple H in 2003, mate.
It also happened when CM Punk ran off with the belt and said, all right, let's get another WWE title. Can they just call it like the Raw champion? Something interesting. I don't know. I like Universal as a title name, but maybe something a little bit, and with a different design.
I've got it.
The American champion. There we go.
The most stupendous championship.
No, Jeremy. Vince will immediately get tired of stupendous championship and change
do you know what?
The word.
Okay, they won't do this. Do you know what I would like them to see? I would like to see the champion, rather than having a belt, have a trophy. They won't do it.
They've done
I just want to see them carrying around the trophy.
They've done it with the NXT UK. They've had a trophy. They've had the Heritage Cup.
Yeah, but let's be fair. Vince doesn't see that happen.
Oh, what names do you call? I mean, basically, if the black belt's going to SmackDown, that means you've got to bring back the red strap.
The Vince McMahon Appreciation Championship.
The Vincent Kennedy McMahon Championship. There we go.
The Vincent Kennedy McMahon Legacy of All World Conquering Legacy Championship.
It's a conundrum. It really is, and I'm not sure.
But again,
I'm fascinated.
This is why the main event is so intriguing of night 2. So at the very least, you've got to give them that.
I'm going to do some fantasy booking. What if Cody doesn't debut, or he does debut at WrestleMania? I think if Raw are missing a championship belt and they do like the Raw after Mania, they do a full tournament from start to finish to crown a champion by the end of that Raw.
Oh God!
Imagine if it's Cody who takes the new Raw Championship. Oh, the whole world would have, the world will end. The wrestling world when the wrestling will have finished. The wrestling has finished.
I mean, arguably, it'd be one of the most intriguing 3-hour Raws in quite a while.
True.
And you would have the quite frankly the hardcore crowd there, as it were. So it's entirely possible, but you know what, mate? We will find out after this weekend when WrestleMania happens Saturday and Sunday. I might at the very least try and watch night 1 live if I can actually stay up that late now. But night 2, I doubt it because I've got a busy Monday. I
am at a convention this weekend, so trying to watch and not get it spoiled is going to be a fun journey in itself. But the nice thing is, like, I don't necessarily have a lot going on in the mornings of the convention, so I could probably watch, depending if it's not 5 bloody hours a night, I could probably watch like night 1 Sunday morning with a bit of breakfast and chilling in the hotel room.
Just imagine you with a room service fry up watching WrestleMania.
I mean, I've somehow got it's like I've somehow got a room upgrade to like a superior double room, and it's like, okay, I've got spacious, and apparently now there's a 43-inch TV in there, which is not fixed to a wall. So it's like, I best get my HDMI cable on a laptop.
43-inch TV. I thought they were done in even numbers.
43, 55, 65, 77.
I haven't bought a TV.
Yeah, they've been 50 as well. Yeah. But yes. So basically, don't worry. We are definitely going to be watching WrestleMania ahead of next week's episode because
indeed,
it's gonna be another stupendous show of going through the whole positives, the negatives, the what the fuck just happened stuff, all that sort of stuff.
Suffice to say, it's probably going to be another very WWE heavily focused edition of BunkaMania. Next week, we'll be live on Twitch next Wednesday night if you want to join us live at twitch.tv/Bunkazilla UK. And again, if you're joining us now live, thank you very much for doing so. And if you'd like to hit that follow button here on Twitch, why not do it? We would very much appreciate it. Of course, next week's show will also be available in audio-only podcast form on the likes of Spotify, Amazon, Google Music. I'm forgetting another important, Apple, that one, the big one. I can't believe I forgot that one, but there you go as I was saying this. And if you would like to find Bunkazilla on Twitter and Facebook, search for Bunkazilla UK. You should find them just fine. And no doubt there will be some clipped form clips from this here show, and no doubt some from our post-WrestleMania show, which in itself is going to be a wild ride, quite possibly, on our YouTube channel, Bunkazilla UK. So make sure you head on over there and hit the subscribe button to get some fun clips and some full episodes of content there as well. Good sir, any closing thoughts before we head out for tonight? Because we were aiming to perhaps be around the 90-minute mark. We've, as usual, got to around the 2-hour mark. So hope you enjoyed it, everyone. But any closing thoughts before the Mania that will be WrestleMania, this stupendously Mania-based weekend?
I'm still looking forward to Mania. I know the build has probably not been one of the strongest, but the usual tact has usually been, if the build has been kind of shit, the WrestleMania itself is actually very good. I mean, it's like even with the pandemic coming in and people were kind of going, oh, I can't really imagine WrestleMania working. It's like, it still worked to a degree. And it was still a nice distraction from what was going on in the world. So it's like that. And I going back to 31, I don't think most people were kind of thrilled about the idea of 31, especially with Reigns and Brock Lesnar having a tug of war for a belt. But it delivered. It delivered iconic moments. It's like the thing is, there's always something at Mania that will always be remembered fondly or be praised fondly. Whether it be last year when it was Belair and Banks in the main event of night 1, or the main triple threat of night 2. The pandemic show, we have the Boneyard match, Firefly Funhouse match, all that sort of stuff. So good memory. So it's not all negative with the Mania bill and all stuff. There is stuff that will generally probably be amazing to watch on a big stage, in a big stadium. And yeah.
I've just had a very bad thought.
No, Jeremy. Don't say this, Jeremy. Don't ruin it.
Imagine if the KO show segment with Austin was a cinematic match.
Again.
Now, I feel the need to clarify. Bad in the sense of, if you're in the stadium, you got royally screwed. But you know what? As a concept, Ian, I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Jeremy, that's the sort of stuff that will end the AT&T Stadium being burnt to the ground.
Will that happen, folks? Find out this weekend at WrestleMania.
Also, will the WrestleMania sign catch on fire for the second time this year? Or third,
Find
actually.
out this weekend at WrestleMania. Folks, from myself, Jeremy Graves, from him, the Decade, Mr. Ian Bolton, thank you very much for joining us here on BunkaMania. Hope you had fun listening. Send us your thoughts, sir, and how can people do just that if they would like to get in contact via email?
They can do so with bunkazilla@bunkazilla.co.uk. We'd love to hear your thoughts, especially after WrestleMania. Do let us know if you watched the show, what you like, what you didn't like, what you think was just out of nowhere, completely weird and random. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And yes, this marks the, what was it? I'm trying to think. Tomorrow actually marks 4 years of Bunkazilla. So this is
wow, amazing.
Yes. So this is the final show before the 4th year begins. So it's a new season. It's time to start again, like WrestleMania
it's the
20,
spring premiere,
where it begins again.
And again.
But no, if you've been enjoying the BunkaMania podcast or any of the other Bunkazilla products and stuff like that, thank you so much. It's really been amazing for you guys to listen, support, and so forth. So from me, starting this out in 2018, big thank you. So watch your space, more stuff to come.
Indeed, tremendous achievement, good sir. I wasn't aware of that before you said it, actually, so massive congratulations from me. I've only been along the journey for a very short amount of time, but it's
almost
been
a year.
wonderful.
Almost a year. I think it's a year come May.
Because we started around Hell in the Cell time, didn't we, doing this?
Yes, Hell in a nonsensical cell.
No doubt we'll get to that again in a few months' time. But...
what was because we've got WrestleMania Backlash after this one, and then it's Hell in a Cell, and then it's Money in the Bank. Table, Ladders, and Chairs is the next Saudi show in September.
What?
Yep.
What? Oh, all right, sure.
We'll talk about that next.
Does that mean? My closing thought is: does that mean Saudi Arabia is going to get a chairs match? I'm curious.
Maybe they'll get a stairs match. Oh my!
But that's not in the title, is it? What'll happen? Find out later this year. But we'll be back next week talking about WrestleMania weekend. Thank you very much for joining us. Take care and speak to you soon.